Okay, real talk. Two cities. Completely different energy. One is out here grinding, building empires, and putting the whole American South on its back. The other one spent decades literally divided by a wall, and somehow came out the other side as one of the coolest cities on the planet. Atlanta versus Berlin. New South hustle versus old world reinvention. No cap, this one hits different. Let's break it all the way down. Global cloud. Let's start with something most people sleep on: how much these cities actually matter on a global level. Atlanta is low-key one of the most important cities in America, and a lot of people outside the South still don't give it its flowers. This city is the unofficial capital of the New South, and it's been going crazy for the last 2 decades. Coca-Cola? Based in Atlanta. Delta Airlines, one of the biggest carriers on Earth, Atlanta. Home Depot, CNN, Tyler Perry Studios, Chick-fil-A. The list keeps going. And Hartsfield Jackson? Bro. For years running, it's been the busiest airport in the entire world. The city is a logistics and media machine operating at a level most people don't appreciate. Oh, and we haven't even talked about the cultural reach. Atlanta basically runs hip-hop right now. From Outkast to Lil Baby to Future to Gunna, the sound that dominates radio, streaming, and pop culture worldwide comes out of this city. That's not a small thing. Berlin is operating on a completely different wavelength. This is Germany's capital, political power, government institutions, EU diplomacy. What gets decided in Berlin has ripple effects across an entire continent. But what makes Berlin genuinely wild is how it reinvented itself. This city was literally cut in half for decades. A wall ran right through the middle of it. And after reunification, instead of staying in the past, Berlin became one of Europe's biggest startup ecosystems and one of the most visited cities in the world. Atlanta runs business and culture. Berlin runs politics and vibes. Both of them are that girl in their own lane. Money and amp. Careers. Now let's get to the bag, because that's why most people are actually watching this. Atlanta is straight up corporate heaven if you're in the right field. Logistics, fintech, media production, healthcare, tech, the opportunities are legit. The film and TV industry has been going absolutely crazy since Georgia started offering major tax incentives. Atlanta is now one of the top filming locations in the country. If you're trying to get into entertainment production, this might genuinely be the move. Georgia state taxes are moderate, not Texas or Florida levels, but not the nightmare of somewhere like California either. The corporate scene rewards ambition hard, and the city is still growing, which means opportunities are being created in real time. Berlin's economy is built different. You've got a massive startup scene. Berlin has more venture-backed startups than almost any other European city. You've got creative industry jobs, government roles, international companies using Berlin as their European base. There's real opportunity here. But here's the thing, and this is the part people don't want to hear: salaries in Berlin can feel underwhelming if you're used to American corporate pay scales. Germany has strong worker protections, great benefits, and solid job security, but if you're chasing big numbers on your paycheck, Atlanta's corporate ladder is probably going to serve you better. Atlanta is the move if you want to get paid and go up. Berlin is the move if you want stability, balance, and to be part of something culturally interesting. Cost of living. Atlanta used to be a low-key affordable city. Those days are fading, rent has spiked, and the city has gotten way more expensive over the past 5 years as people keep moving there. But compared to New York, LA, or San Francisco, Atlanta is still a W. You can actually find a real apartment, like a nice one, without paying your entire soul every month. Get into the suburbs and you can own an actual house with a yard and a driveway. That's not the flex it sounds like until you realize you can't do that in most major American cities anymore. Berlin got a lot more expensive too. The city was famously cheap for a long time. Artists and broke creatives from all over Europe were moving there because it was so affordable. That window has mostly closed. Rent has climbed hard. The city has implemented rent controls, which helps, but demand is high and supply isn't keeping up. That said, daily life in Berlin can be pretty reasonable. Public transit is cheap. You don't need a car. Groceries, eating out, grabbing drinks, it's not the wallet-destroying experience you'd have in London or Zurich. Bottom line, Atlanta gives you more space per dollar. Berlin gives you a dense, connected city life that doesn't require a car to function. Lifestyle and vibes. This is the section where these two cities go full opposite directions, and honestly, it's the most interesting part of the whole comparison. Atlanta has a specific energy to it that's hard to explain unless you've been there. It's ambitious. Everyone is on their grind. The culture is thick, southern hospitality mixed with pure hustle mixed with one of the most dominant music scenes in the world. The food is crazy, soul food, barbecue, bomb Tex-Mex, incredible West African restaurants, and some of the best wings you will ever eat in your life. No debate. The city is young, it's growing, it's building. New neighborhoods keep popping off. The Beltline has completely transformed how parts of the city feel. There's a real sense that Atlanta is still becoming something, and if you get in now, you're part of that story. The one knock? You're driving everywhere. Atlanta is a car city through and through. Traffic on 285 will test your patience and your character. Berlin is a completely different universe. This city is raw in a way that very few major cities still are. Street art covers entire buildings. The underground club scene is genuinely legendary. We're talking clubs that run from Friday night straight through Monday morning. Electronic music was basically invented as a serious art form in the Berlin scene. There's a creative, rebellious spirit to the city that attracts artists, musicians, and weirdos from every corner of Europe and beyond. And then there's the history, and this is where Berlin gets heavy. You can't walk through this city without running into World War II memorials, Cold War checkpoints, pieces of the Berlin Wall. It's woven into the streets. It makes the city feel deep in a way that most cities just aren't. Atlanta says, "Come get this money and build your brand." Berlin says, "Come find yourself and make something real." Safety, no sugarcoating here. Berlin has relatively low violent crime rates compared to most large American cities. Is it perfect? No, pickpocketing and petty crime exist. But serious violent crime is genuinely low, and most people feel comfortable moving around at night. Atlanta, like most major American cities, is neighborhood dependent. There are parts of Atlanta that are completely safe, chill, and thriving. There are parts you're going to want to know about before you move. The city has made real progress in a lot of areas, but the gap between Atlanta's best and worst neighborhoods is significant. On overall safety, Berlin has the edge, and it's not really close. Getting around. Atlanta and Berlin are basically case studies in two completely opposite approaches to urban transportation. Atlanta said, "Build highways. Big ones. And then build more highways." The MARTA system exists, and it covers some ground, but the honest truth is that most Atlanta residents drive everywhere. Your commute is on the highway, your grocery run is in the car, your night out means figuring out parking. If you're coming from a city with good transit, this is going to be a lifestyle adjustment. Berlin said, "Let's make a train system so good that nobody needs a car." The U-Bahn, S-Bahn, trams, and buses cover almost every part of the city and run late into the night. It's affordable, it's reliable, and it genuinely works. Owning a car in Berlin is a choice, not a necessity. That saves you a ton of money when you add it up. If you want to live car-free, Berlin wins by a mile. If you want that suburban American lifestyle with the garage and the driveway, Atlanta is your people. Work-life balance. Here's a real cultural difference that doesn't get talked about enough. Atlanta runs on American hustle culture. The grind is glorified. Long hours, always being on, networking constantly, it's baked into the DNA of the city's corporate scene. That energy can be motivating and exhausting at the same time. Burnout is real, and it's not a foreign concept to Atlanta professionals. Berlin operates on European standards, and that means something. Legally mandated vacation time. Strong protections against being messaged by your boss outside work hours. A genuine cultural expectation that your personal life is your personal life. Germans are not playing about their time off. If you're a grinder who wants to go up fast, Atlanta's culture will feed that. If you're someone who's been running on empty and wants to actually live your life, Berlin might be the reset you need. Weather. Real quick on weather, because it matters more than people admit. Atlanta is hot. Humid in the summer. Thunderstorms roll through regularly. Winters are mild, you're not shoveling snow every week. If you're from somewhere cold, Atlanta's winters feel like a blessing. The summers, though? That humidity will have you reconsidering your life choices by July. Berlin has actual seasons. Cold winters with real snow. Mild, pleasant summers. Spring and fall are genuinely beautiful. If you grew up somewhere with 4 seasons and you miss that, Berlin delivers. If you hate being cold, those winter months are going to be rough. Final breakdown. Alright, here's the honest breakdown, no filler, no cap. Go to Atlanta if you're trying to eat in the corporate world. If you want to be close to a music and media scene that is actively shaping culture right now. If you want more space, a real house someday, and a city that rewards people who are hungry and willing to put in work. If warm weather is non-negotiable for you. If the South's food and culture sounds like your vibe. Go to Berlin if you want to live somewhere with actual history layered into every block. If you value work-life balance and want a country that actually protects it by law. If you're in a startup, creative field, or you just want to be surrounded by people who are building and making things that aren't purely about money. If you want to live car-free in a city that functions beautifully without one. These cities are not competing, they're just built for different types of people chasing different versions of the good life. So I want you to actually think about this one before you drop your answer. Not just which city sounds cooler, but which city fits the life you're actually trying to build. Atlanta or Berlin? Put your pick in the comments and tell me why. And if you want to see the next city matchup, subscribe. City Clash.